Just want to say good day to all my blokes who might be watching. Want to give a shout out to all my mates down under. Been up to the wazoo in dream interpretation. We're going to take a gander at about 20 of them. Now I know I might not be a true blue, but I'm going to give it a go. Hey everybody, Joshua August here. Thanks for watching this video on my channel. I was trying to tap into my inner Aussie. I'm a little rusty, bear with me, but Australian slang is really cool and you might hear some later in this video. But anyways, please subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, welcome aboard. There's weekly videos. I do prophecy, creativity, music, all kinds of things like that. And my social media is also on the screen if you want to follow me there. I love interpreting dreams and writing, y'all. I've done over 40 on this channel and 20 other places, but that's right, we're gonna go over 20 interpretations that I did today. Now I know that's a lot, but you're gonna learn so much. There's so many different varieties, and God is always speaking. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, our first dream interpretation.
Dream one.
Okay guys, let's take a look at this dream. And as I mentioned earlier, cars are very important because cars tell us what our ministry in life might be, where we're headed, or what we're called to do. We have quite a few of them, but you're gonna learn a ton. Let's take a look. Last night I had a dream driving my dream car, a Tesla X, but I wanted the Model S. But anyways, I was driving in the Tesla, and while I'm driving, I came across my classmate drowning and I saved them. I told him to get in my car, and I said I don't care if you get my car dirty. The car was black and the inside was black and white.
Okay, so let's take a minute and think, what could this possibly mean?
Okay, let's take a look at my interpretation. And as I'm doing these, God's speaking more. Sometimes God will give you a dream and then the interpretation comes later on. But this is what I said. Pray about it, but what I'm feeling is that you are a person of your word and have a heart of tenderness and compassion. You value helping people and see people's needs. This might sound crazy, but I kind of feel you know what you want in life. But God has something for you even better. It's similar to what you want, like already, as the Tesla S and Tesla X, but it will bring the greatest fulfillment to you in life, helping others when you have the ability and means to do so. I think the black and white interior represents for you that, you know what, things don't always have to be just black and white. They can be gray, they can be messy too. You might even have a gift of mercy. See Matthew 5:7. So there it is, guys. Please pause the video as you need. You can write your own interpretations. I'll have to read them and hear them. But one thing that God spoke to me also as I was going through this is, a lot of times we have our idea what the greatest things are for us, but God knows us better, and it's often similar because He put those things inside. Anyway, let's move on. Dream number 2. Okay, this dream involves death, and dreams often can. Let's take a look. I had a dream my younger brother died suddenly, and it shook me to my core, especially since he is younger than me and only in his 30s still. It felt so vivid and real in my dream. I'm afraid it's going to happen soon. I told him about it too. Please help. Once again, feel free to pause the video if you want to try to figure this out. But I felt right away that the death did not mean a real death. It meant that something was coming to an end. After I talked with this person a little bit, turns out that they were leaving a company that they were with a long time, and the death actually represented them just moving on to another job. We're going to see a few more of these later on, but death in dreams, it can mean death, but more often than not, it just means something's coming to an end that you're really attached to. And that's why it feels intense.
Dreams, dream number 3.
Okay, so this technically isn't a dream, but it involves technical things that can be interpreted just like a dream, so let's do it. It also involves a death, just like our last dream. Let's take a look at this and see what it means. Found a little bird that resembles this one dead in my balcony today, and she's looking at my sparrows video, by the way. I prayed and didn't know what it means. There are many trees here and lots of noisy birds that I love to hear. What might all this mean? What do you guys think? Okay, so here's my interpretation. The little dead bird just means your last season has officially ended. The singing birds represent happiness and a new season full of new things. Okay, guys, I heard that right away. As soon as she said that, I just knew, and she said that she just moved there. I know it's a little scary and intimidating, but just like the previous dream, it just meant that her season was ending, and I just felt in my spirit that the bird singing was a really good sign.
And it obviously resonated with her. She gave it a thumbs up.
Alrighty then, let's take a look at dream number 4.
Okay, so this dream is a great example of a warning type dream. Let's take a gander. Hi, I had a dream I had a Land Rover, and my little sister parked it in the water, and I was walking on the water going to get it.
What do y'all think?
Here's my interpretation. Hello, I think you and your sister have a call to being in a very blessed ministry, or life, the Land Rover. I feel your sister may have fallen into, or a situation might arise where she needs help getting out of it, back on track, which is the lake. You're going to use God's supernatural power to pull her out of it. Walking on the water is a supernatural act. You have the power of declaration in your voice, and you'll command the situation to be reversed, and it will. Hope this helps. Okay, so this was a little bit interesting. I don't always say that everyone has a call of God on their life, but I felt it for this woman, even though she might not know it. And I also kind of think the situation's going to happen, and she's going to bring out what God put inside of her and help pull her sister out of a mess. Well then, now let's take a look at dream number 5. Okay, so this dream is pretty complex. There's an accusation involved. There's an understanding that's necessary. I really would love you to pause the video and see if you can figure this one out before I tell you what happens, okay?
Okie dokie, here we go. Let's read it.
After leaving a ministry I was working with very closely, even helping around their house sometimes, the wife of my boss, the minister, called me out of the blue a few months later to share a dream their daughter had with me in it. They went on to say their daughter was in a security room watching their house on 24-hour surveillance with video cameras. And I came into the kitchen of their home and took a box of jelly-filled donuts from their house and left. Stole, I guess. This really saddened me. I felt accused, etc. What does this all mean? I don't know what to do. Okay, I'll give you one more clue. The person in this dream, their name was also Joshua like mine, and that's a very important clue. So see if you can figure this out. Pause the video. Okay, so for this interpretation, it was pretty intense, and I really wanted to help this person, so I brought in a friend of mine to help me with it. Okay, so we talked about it, and we came up with this answer, and this is what I said to Joshua. We kind of felt like the ministry had been living a more extravagant lifestyle. We felt that the surveillance actually represented God, because he's the one who doesn't miss anything, right? He's the real 24-hour surveillance. That's what the jelly donuts were, just a necessity that people don't need. You got to really pay attention to these types of things. And the person's name being Joshua was super important because if you look up Joshua, which we did, it actually means almost one of the few names that actually means the same thing as Jesus. And I'm just sad to say, it helped that person out a lot, but years later, that ministry actually did get things pulled back a lot, and it was the Lord. He's ultimately trying to help people all the time, but it was actually Jesus in the dreams that was going to pull away that abuse of luxuries and things in their ministry.
Yeah, so dream number 6.
Okay, this dream is cool. It involves a musician. And it also involves vehicles. Let's take a look. It's super cool, guys. Check it out. Interesting. I had a dream where someone drove my vehicle into an irrigation canal. They happened to be booking me for shows where I live. 2 years later, I stopped doing gigs in town. I'm a songwriter, but not necessarily Christian, although some of my songs are. Thanks for the confirmation that let someone subvert my vehicle. Getting back on track. Prayers appreciated. I have quite an audience online, but I'm parked, God bless. And then I just wrote something really brief like this. Pause the video if you want to try to figure it out. Pray about it, but I kind of feel God is directing you, and maybe you'll explore new realms and avenues of getting your music out there. Much love. So even as I'm reading this, I'm getting a little more interpretation. So I do feel that her management did off-road her ministry, but God's going to turn it around because she actually landed in an irrigation canal. And if you know anything about it, those streams go everywhere, all over the field. I think it's going to work out to her streaming, maybe online, to her benefit. And I also believe the irrigation itself is really important, that she has a life-giving gift through her music. Such a good plant. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh, sorry. He was thirsty. Oh, now it is a time for dream number 7. Let's take a look at this. This is a really interesting dream. Can you tell me what my dream means? At first it was exciting and then turned terrifying super quick. I was really high above the earth in this almost magical place with wonders and shops and all kinds of interesting things. Then all of a sudden I was on this circular island thing floating above the earth with no railing all around. I was so scared I'd fall. I froze to the ground and didn't move. What are your thoughts? Okay, so my interpretation was this. Just because of all the shops and all the fantasy and all the cool things up there, I felt that this was maybe the person's dream, just to go to this place which is really high. But I also felt that they were afraid of falling, just being almost even afraid of success. Not success, but getting really high in what they wanted to do and then falling. And after I talked with them, they were like, that's right on. So it was just really cool. And just once again, in dreams, things can be so much more terrifying than real life because our spirit is so sensitive. Think about it. Sometimes you get a impression about other people, right? Like you meet somebody and you're just like the vibe, your spirit just moves. Well, imagine if you're asleep and your spirit's kind of running things. It's awake. Spirits don't sleep. That's why things are just so intense sometimes. So my advice to that person, as the Australians say,
Have a go, you mug.
Here is dream number 8.
let's dive right into this one, okay? I had a dream, man of God,
Aw, she called me man of God.
that I drove my car into the back of the house of some people I know. God told me in the dream to wait in the front of the driveway, and then he said, "You can go now," and I rode my car into the back of the house. They were shocked and mad, but nobody fought me. Okay, guys, what do you think? I'll give you a clue. It's actually a good dream. The house often represents the mind and how people view things. I think it either means you are rocking people's minds and perspectives about God with your ministry or your own. Okay, guys, that's a really cool tidbit. Houses and buildings can often represent how our minds work and function. Once a lady told me about a dream she had where a bird flew in her house, and I just knew immediately in my heart that that was an idea that was coming to her. But anyways, as I'm reading this, I just feel that this person has an anointing with their speech, just like even Stephen and different disciples and apostles when they would wow the Greeks and the scholars with their preaching. For dream number 9, press 9. Okay, this one's cool. This person had a dream about Lecrae. Let's see what they say. Had a dream I met Lecrae. Woo-woo. I was happy to see him and he was me too. Felt amazing to be around him. I was practicing rapping during that time and I felt he was happy I was pursuing it. I was subconscious and wondering if God was happy or wanted me to do rap again.
What do y'all think?
Okay, so right away, I just felt in my spirit that Lecrae represented the Lord. A lot of times, there'll be figures or figures in our dreams that we look up to that can often represent the Lord or other figures in our life. But I just felt like this was the Lord saying, I'm really happy. I'm really excited that you're rapping again. I feel that right now, actually, as I say that encouragement. Number 10. Ow! This is super cool. I didn't even plan it, but this is just like those spiritual figures. Check this dream out. It's super similar to the Lecrae dream.
Hint, hint.
I woke up from a dream where I was chasing my pastor, whom I really look up to, around a large table, and for the love of St. Peter could not catch them. I got so mad, and the whole time my pastor was laughing and dodging me. What the heck does this mean? Well, guys, what do you think? The last dream is your clue. Okay, so this took me a little bit to process, but I just felt like their pastor represented the Lord, and that they were pursuing God, and that the Lord, just like us, loves to be pursued. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for his righteousness. Draw near to me, and I'll draw near to you. But I just felt like the Lord was playing hard to get. That might be hard for some of you to digest, but the Lord is a romantic. If you don't believe me, read Song of Solomon. He is, we're his bride.
Crikey. Stream number 11.
Okay, so this dream is really cool,
Or dope, as the youth say these days.
but it's actually the 11th dream, and I'm all about the 11th hour workers. I'm one. I hope you're one as well. Check this baby out. Last year, I had a dream of being in a sports car trying to get to church before this procession of pregnant brides were walking towards the church. Wow. So I'm on a fast track of my destiny or calling before the Lord comes for his brides. Now, some dreams are really straightforward, and I mean they're really straightforward. What I mean is what's going on in the dream is reality, or it's actually going on in real life. Very, very clear, but you can pause if you like. Here's my interpretation. Wow, what a cool, vivid dream. Probably, I'm just agreeing with her. My first impression was that you might be called to announce the Lord's return with urgency. Urgency that is sooner than later. Another cool nugget from this dream is, guys, the first impression that you get, the first impression about people, your first feeling, your first inkling is often the right one. I know you've heard that before. Trust your gut.
And always let your conscience be your guide.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me dream number 12.
Okay, guys, I really liked interpreting this dream. One, because it involves a monster truck. And two, like most dreams, it's not literal. It has a different meaning. And you have to go back to when Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. Remember when 7 skinny cows came out and ate 7 fat cows? Now that's some scary stuff. But it meant famine. It meant those years were going to devour the other years. It wasn't about cows.
That being said, let's take a look at this here dream.
What if I wasn't in the vehicle or a vehicle? This is a comment from my car dream video. Check it out. And I remember walking into like a family party. And I forgot something in the car. And when I walked back out, this big silver gray truck like monster trucked my car. My car was just like squished and sinking under the pressure of this massive truck. And my mom and my aunt were just so cool about it. And I woke up from just being so mad and upset about my car. What do you guys think? Your hint is, it is a good dream. That never gets old, does it? It's always fun. Okay, so my first impression, there's that word again, is that she was a younger woman and that she was entering into adulthood. Here's my interpretation. Hey Leah, pray about it. My interpretation for your dream is this. And guys, that's another thing. We really only see in part. We often don't see the full picture, but I always ask people to pray about it because I could get it wrong. But and God might have more revelation or a different perspective. So that's always a good thing. Always pray about it yourself. I think the gray truck running over your car represents your adolescence, the transitional period between childhood and adulthood in people, the teen years, is coming to an end. Like the truck, it may seem scary, overbearing, and crushing stepping into adulthood, leaving familiar things, friends, and even the no real responsibilities behind. The gray truck snuck up on you and suddenly, just like adult life does. The reason the car was destroyed is because, like our teen years, once they are over, they're over. No going back. Even the gray truck color represents the uncertainty of your new life and future. It is gray, not black and white and clear to decipher. So once again, guys, pay attention to the colors in your dreams. They are often significant, like that color gray is. The reason your mom and aunt weren't worried about the event is because they not only lived through your transition, they know it is a natural part of life and that you'll be okay in the end. And everything else will work out. The reason the dream was more terrifying and intense is because our subconscious interprets our condensed inner thoughts, and our spirit is much more sensitive than just our skin and feels things at a much deeper level. Anyways, it's all going to be okay. The training wheels are coming off, and you'll be getting a new car, an adult life car, huh? Well, just like I said before, guys, our spirits are a lot more sensitive, but this was a really cool dream. And also for all the evangelists out there, dream interpretation can be a great way to evangelize. I often tag the salvation prayer or lead people to the Lord after I interpret their dreams. We even used to do dream interpretation booths and tables at festivals and things like that. But it can be a nice segue into the gospel.
Dream number 13.
This is another cool dream. Aussies might even call it a bloody ripper.
Can you interpret this dream for me? In my dream, I was hanging out with a lead singer of a famous band I really, really like, backstage at various venues. Woo! He seemed to like me too as well, even as friends. Before I ever said anything really, he asked me to open up for him on stage. I was so stoked. There were several others he really liked too, and wanted them to open up musically as well. What are your thoughts?
What do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Could mean anything.
I had to ponder on this dream a little bit, but I felt like this dream represented the Lord coming back soon, and that he's asking this musical person to use their musical gift to open up for his return, and that he was also telling this person, ooh, I feel the anointing, that there's other anointed people to help prepare the way of the Lord. And I said it to this person, and they were like, right on, my brother. Hope you guys are having fun. Hang in there. We're almost done. This is a lot of fun, isn't it? Okay, this next dream has a mother in it. If you ever dreamt about a mother in your dream, I'll explain what that means after, but let's read the dream, okay? I had a dream recently where I was sitting next to the driving seat. At first, my mom was driving the car, and then suddenly left, and I said that I should stop in a particular place. At first, it was going okay, and then I realized that there was no one driving the car. It was going on its own. I was afraid that it would cross my town and I would get lost.
Well, what do you kids think? Phone lines are open.
Mothers in dreams represent intuition and decision making. Maybe you relied on your mother's advice and guidance a lot in life, and now God is showing you it's time to make your own decisions and that you are ready. And or you're ready to mother, lead, and make choices on your own, I believe. You won't get lost. Some things you only learn by making choices. It's growing in life. So even as I was reading this, I was just kind of feeling this person relied a lot on their mother, and they trust their mother. And I also believe that the Lord was wanting this person to trust themselves, that they can make this happen, that they can succeed in life and beginning to make the decisions that need to be made.
Dream number 15.
Okay, this is a little odd, but not really for me if I think about it. But I just heard Motley Crue. I think it's a word of knowledge for somebody watching. That could be the band, but I actually feel you're part of a Motley Crue where you have an odd group of people in a ministry, but God's going to use it because that's how he rolls. And I like that the Lord interrupted me to say this. One, because you're just that special to him, but two, that God's word is timeless. Even the Bible, we can pick it up or we can watch old messages, but God knows where you're going to be to receive the word you need to hear at that time. It all ties into communication along with dreams.
Anywho, you quit interrupting me? Jeez.
Here's the dream. Dreamt I was driving a Bentley Mulsanne convertible, but it was stick. Every car I've ever owned was automatic. Still drove it and made it to my destination. I thought this dream meant another name for stick is standard. I believe God's raising your standard of business, life, and how you work with people, how you behave, character, and zeal for Him as well. You're going to love it. It will feel right. It is a higher and better way of life and will get you to where you want to go. It's not as easy as an automatic, but it's the way God intended for you to live. Isn't that the truth? Living for God is not easy. It's not an easy path. But see how everything in these dreams, the stick shift, the automatic, all tie together.
$16.
I had this dream where I caught a really big bluegill. It's a freshwater fish, as huge as a pan, and I cooked it up right away to enjoy. My sister also caught 2 brown trout and was proceeding to season and cook them really well. She really took her time preparing her 2 fish well. Not that I didn't, but she cooked hers longer than me.
What could it mean?
Okay, so my interpretation for this dream was this person with the bluegill is going to have a significantly sized ministry, and I believe that the sister is going to have a dual purpose ministry. I believe the person with the bluegill might have happened a little quicker, but I feel that the sister may be a little more cautious of an individual, but she's taking her time, seasoning her fish really well. The first guy is more of a go-getter, like get that fish in the pan, let's do it, let's grow. But the sister is just taking her time, not any less value, but just has a dual purpose because the word says we are fishers of men.
Interpreting 20 dreams. What kind of crazy person does this?
Just kidding, I absolutely love this. We're making it. Here's dream number 17. Whoosh. I had a dream that there was a plane that was taking off and I was hanging onto the windshield. Yikes. Any idea what that could mean?
The person in the back? Do you know?
Here's my interpretation. Planes often represent plans or goals taking off. Just like a car, huge ministry, huge impact probably as well. And usually a moving plane is not easily stopped either. The fact that you're outside might represent you feel out of control or unprepared for a situation that is taking off. Hope this helps. And she wrote back, yeah, that makes total sense. But yeah, some of those dreams can be pretty intense, pretty scary, but cool meaning. I really love this next dream. We're gonna have to go straight to the pool room with it. Yeah, dream number 18. Ho ho ho, yeah. Actually, in all seriousness, this dream's really amazing. Really touched my heart. Let's have a read.
Let's have a go.
Hey, I always have a dream I'm in a moving car and no one is driving it, and I always try to go and take control of it. I don't know its meaning. Now, so I saw a guy driving the car, and he was looking forward, and he wouldn't look away. So I asked her, are you in a relationship? She said, no. How's your relationship with your father? And she says, it's almost 7 months since he passed away. He was everything to me. Here's where it gets really interesting. Take a look at this. It's amazing. Okay, I asked about a man and then your dad because I saw a man driving you in a car. I saw and felt pain whenever you went to grab the steering wheel. And I really did, guys. It felt like my heart was getting ripped out of my chest when I was praying, asking God to show me. The man looking forward in my vision could not look away from the road, which makes sense now because he has moved on and is on a different path. Also, the reason you can't see him is because he's a spirit now, passed on. The reason he is driving is because you haven't been able to fully let go. He still drives much of what you feel and think. My other thought was when you first wrote was that you are the one supposed to be driving your life now, your car. I felt you were ready and it's time. Many blessings. Once again, guys, I can't stress it enough. This vehicle represented this woman's life, and she was just still caught up and needed healed from that time her father passed, and it was just a really unique and amazing dream to be part of.
19.
Can you believe it? You made it to dream number 19. This dream was a lot of fun too, and I can't stress enough that if you're a singer or if you're a writer or if you're an artist, God will often speak to you through those things. He speaks to me through songs all the time and numbers and things like that, and he'll play on words with me a lot of the time, poetry and writing. So check this dream out. I had a dream I was driving a beautiful red sports car. I was adjusting to the stick shift. I was very happy, and the car seems to float on the street. I felt a calm driving this bright red sports car. Do any of you got an interpretation then? This one was so much fun. Pause it if you need to, but check this out. Hey Des, thanks for writing. I'm a writer, so God plays on words with me. Pray about it, but I heard coast first, then it changed into roller coaster. God said you're a roller and you like to coast. But the coolest pun is God said fasten your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Get it? Enjoy the ride. The ups and downs. Life is a journey. God has an adventure in store for you. I even see you raising your hands, praising, shouting to the Lord. So once again, God has a custom life for everyone. This guy likes to chill, he likes to coast, and there's going to be ups and downs, but God is always saying, just enjoy the ride. Isn't that usually the biggest problem, is we don't know how to enjoy the process, the journey? Just wow. It's dream number 20. I can't believe you made it this far. Well, you might as well finish strong. Not wrong, strong. Well, here it is then. Let's do dream number 20.
Man, my voices are just struggling today.
Hi Joshua, new subscriber here. Thank you, Shanna. Can you help me interpret this? I keep having dreams of myself singing. This man, the event host, handed me a mic and I sang in front of school students. The other time was on a college campus. I was singing behind a door and the event host opened it and asked me to sing. Similar to the last one, but the last one was my former high school. Had similar dreams 4 times in 2 weeks.
Well, guys, what do you think? Last chance to figure it out.
I just feel maybe you had a dream in life in your youth, possibly singing, that maybe never really happened or quite panned out. I feel God is saying, the event coordinator in the dream, that the door isn't closed yet. You can pick it back up if you want to. Also, I have a feeling that you could have a gift working with young people and youth. 2 student events really says a lot. You have went through some real things in life, and I believe you can help younger ones. They'll be more open to you. Well, guys, like I said earlier, often authority figures or leaders, in good dreams, not nightmares, will represent the Lord or your father or your friends, usually always a good thing. Well, guys, you made it through 20 dream interpretations. I know it's a lot, but I really enjoy it. I love doing it. If you have a dream, please put it in the comments. Try to keep it just to a paragraph or 2, 3 tops, because I get a lot of comments on a lot of things, but I'd love to respond to them. Feel free to comment on what you think maybe the dreams meant. But anyways, have a beautiful day. Please subscribe. Love you.
My candlelight, it'll never fade until that day. You're what my hope's in a dying world. A torch that shines, a city